this video, we're going to see how to load data from a CSV file by dragging it and dropping it on top of a cube. I'm currently logged into the demo environment as Modeler 1. I'm going to go ahead and open up a new PowerBook. In the databases section, I can see all the connected instances, TM1 instances. When I expand cubes, these are the cubes that are part of this model. The GSS cube is what we're going to look at today, and this is the dimensionality. It has all of these dimensions in the cube. I'm now going to open up my folder where I have my CSV file, and I'm going to drag and drop it on top of the GSS cube. And this will take a few minutes, and it's going to load up the screen or wizard that will help me to set up step by step how the data from the file should be loaded into the cube. Once we see this window or pop-up screen, you can see a sample set of data from your CSV file. There are some other things that we can set here, which is like the delimiter. Since this is a comma separated file, so I would choose comma, the quote character, and the number of header rows. This looks fairly similar to how Excel shows when you open up a CSV file in Excel. Next, I click on continue, and this is where we do the mapping. So this is on the left hand side, the list of all the dimensions in the cube and the corresponding field names that it needs to map to so that it can consider the correct value for the correct dimension. Version seems to already have been mapped automatically since the name maps with the existing dimension. Similarly, the platform as well. Let's map time. So for time, we're going to choose start period. For account, we're going to choose GSSIN. Order, let's get back to it in a bit. Role, I'm going to choose rep ID. GSS measure, we'll get back to that as well. And the data is the actual data point that you want to load, which in this case is the GSS percent value. Now for order, we do not have this data by order. Hence, we need to specify a static value, which is a valid element in our order dimension where this data should be loaded. So I'm going to type in unallocated order. And similarly, we need the correct measure name where we want this to get loaded. So that's going to be GSS percent. We have some other options here on the right hand side. Before loading data, we can choose to clear it, not clear it, or clear a section of it based on a view that we can pre-make. While loading data, we can choose to either overwrite existing data or accumulate data. We can specify a decimal and thousand separator. And we can also save this process as a TI, which is a turbo integrator process, for repeated use. And we can also schedule it as a chore. Once this is done, I hit import data to then import everything from my CSV file into the GSS cube. This is fairly quick. It shows you the number of rows read and the number of cells updated. Since these values tie, it means that all the data was uploaded. If I hit OK, what happens then is it opens up a view of the GSS cube for me to validate my numbers. I can then go here and change my view to make it more meaningful so that I can validate the data that's been loaded. And as you can see, it's loaded data across different months based on whatever was the start period for that particular role, across different platforms, accounts, and roles, which we can look at the leaf level or the lowest level, which actually holds the data in that cross section. And that is how we load data into a cube directly by dragging and dropping a flat file onto the cube.